What's up out there? In this video, I want to discuss PvE mode in Escape from Tarkov, and this is not only PvE in general, but PvE mode specifically that BSG just released with the Unheard Edition here a couple weeks ago, as well as the SPT mod. I've got some time in with both of them now, and I want to just throw my thoughts out with both of them. So, why bother with PvE at all? For me, it's not that I don't like PvP. I've played plenty of games starting way back in the day with Quake 2, Quake 2, Quake 3 Arena. We did LAN parties back then, Unreal Tournament 2004 back in the early internet, way back in the day. And then on up into, you got Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the original Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops, things like that. The Battlefield series I picked up in Battlefield 3. I played recently, here in the last few years, I've played Squad, Postscriptum, which is now Squad 44, Hell Let Loose. Like, I don't have a problem playing PvP games. But the difference with those games is those are objective-based games that your point is to go capture an area, capture a flag, go get kills and stuff like that. You're not worried about loot. You're not worried about leveling up skills. You're not worried about trying to survive necessarily. You're trying to capture an objective and things like that. So when I play a game like this, or a game like, say, Scum or Rust or Deadside or something like that, I don't like losing progress. So you go build a base and then somebody raids it and takes everything, blows half of it apart, and now you're just kind of stuck. That does not interest me in any way, shape, or form. So you take Escape from Tarkov, which is kind of the middle ground of all that, sort of in a way. You're out trying to go do something. You're out trying to do the whole gold pocket watch quest or something like that. And you get gunned down. So then you think, okay, maybe I need to go at night. And then you go do it at night. Well, or I've seen recommendations when you need to go to the resort there on Shoreline. Oh, just wait 30 minutes. Go mill around somewhere else and then come into the resort when you need to go do quests there. To me, I don't want to deal with all that. Like, I don't want to just idle my time away 30 minutes somewhere else and then come over here. So for me, being able to get away from all the PvP and not deal with any of it is great. Now, I know that we have offline mode, that it exists in this game. However, there is no progression, no looting, no skill gain, no nothing. You basically go learn the map. You can shoot some scavs and do whatever. You can loot and try to figure out where looting areas is, but there's no progression. There's no way to advance your character. There's no way to get stronger. A level 1 character that enters offline mode is still going to be a level 1 character when they leave, and I'm not interested in all of that. So for me, PvE mode gets rid of all the PvP stuff. It gives me progression. It's easier to learn the game. I can spend as much time on a map as I want. I can go do what I want on the map. I don't have to focus in on staying in this area and avoiding that area. I can actually go just do whatever I want, and I can learn my questing, learn my skills, learn my extractions, learn the maps, learn where things are, go look for loot, stuff like that, get into fights, do whatever. You get the annoying quests like the Pocket Watch quest or something like that. I don't have to worry about it picking the right time of day to go in there. I don't have to deal with going in at night or something like that. I don't have to, you still have to worry about dying and things like that, but it's much more relaxed. And to me, I'm absolutely loving to be able to play in PvE mode. So having a PvE mode of any kind has been great. And I did not even know that SPT Mod existed up until recently. So I know it's been out for a while. I just didn't know it existed. So for me, having any of this has been fantastic. And then another big issue with PvE mode is, like with PvP, you get these horrendously long queue times, and then you spawn next to somebody and get killed. Now you got to go back out, re-queue, wait through that whole time. That all sucks. I don't want to deal with any of that. So let's dive into the two different options that we have. First up, I want to talk about the officially supported BSG PvE mode. I'm just going to call it PvE, and I'm going to have a little ticker in the screen up here that tells you I'm going to have some video of the different modes in the game, and one's going to be PvE and one's going to be SPT. It's clearly defining which one is which and what is being shown in that particular section of video. So for the EFT PvE mode itself, this is the pros for it is that it is officially supported by BSG. I am a huge fan of, in any game that has any kind of modding, I don't care what it is, I prefer to play the game as the developers intended first, and then to add modding later. I've had, as a kid, you try to get those cheat engines and stuff like that, which are all great. They make you blow through the game fast and everything, but then you kind of lose interest in playing because you've just cheated yourself up a bunch of money or a bunch of items or something like that. I'm not interested in any of the cheats, and I don't really like, sometimes mods will change the game in a way that you don't anticipate, so I prefer to play the game as the developer designed it so that I know what I do and don't like, and then I know how I can mod it in relation to that, if that makes sense. So I would prefer to play the officially supported version of PvE that BSG's provided. It's got progression. It's kept up to date. I don't have to do anything. I log in, I start my character, and it's there. It's saved. I don't have to worry about, did I back it up? Do I have to update some weird file and I got to go figure all this out? I don't have to deal with any of that. I just download the installer, install the game, select the PvE mode, and go in and play. So that's my preferred method at the moment. I don't have thousands and thousands of hours in the game. In fact, I've put in about 15 hours into the PvE mode since it's came out, and a decent chunk of that, I don't know, 2 hours has been sitting in a queue. So it's not all perfect either, but I've really been getting into the game. I've been learning Ground Zero. I've been spending a lot of quality time working on just learning the game, and it's been great. It's been so much nicer not being hunted down because some PMC nearby third parties me or something and just completely wipes me off the map. I've still died plenty of times, but I've really been enjoying the time that I've spent with the PvE mode. Now, the cons for this, for the officially supported PvE mode, is that it's not fully offline, which can lead to these gargantuan queue times depending on the time of day. Now, I was playing a little bit yesterday, Saturday morning, and I had to check that I didn't load SPT Mod because I loaded right into the game. Like, there was no matchmaking. Like, normally it'll come up with matchmaking and sit there for a little bit. It loaded me right in. Now today, on Sunday, I've had matchmaking queues almost all day long. I've just not gotten around it. So this is going to transition us right into SPT Mod. So I've been playing the PvE, the officially supported PvE mode this whole time. The first couple of days were rough. I mean, it was brand new. Everybody that had the Unheard Edition was trying to get into it and play it. And now they're starting to let EOD users get into it, which is fine. That's totally fine. I don't have any issues with that. The issues that I have is because they have so many people in it, they don't have enough servers. So the other night, I think it was Wednesday night, I was playing, I couldn't get in. I waited for 5 or so minutes and it didn't let me in. I saw some recommendation to back out and then relog and then back out and relog until you got into a map. I tried that a couple of times. I said, I'm done. I'm tired of waiting, and I dove full on into SPT Mod. So we'll get into that here in a second. I do have a couple of things that I think BSG could do to fix PvE mode, and one of which is they already have an offline mode. All they need to do is add progression to that. So if they could make this completely offline for solo players, and anybody that wants to play co-op gets their own server or gets a server to work on, that's fine. But if they wanted to fix this, that's one solution, is just go ahead and make a completely offline progression-based mode, just like this, without the servers. That would be my first thing to solve, because then I would never have to wait on a server or a loading screen or any of that. Well, I mean, loading screens are normal, but not any additional loading screens with matchmaking and all that kind of stuff. Now, the second option that they have is what Deadside and a lot of these other games do with their PvE mode, is that you see other players on the map and everybody can loot and everybody can do whatever they want. They just can't shoot each other. So you're basically, you can shoot anything else but that player. So you could kind of team up together and stuff like that. If you wanted, you're invincible. You can't shoot each other, but you can shoot all the AI. You can do all the looting and all that kind of stuff. You can do trading and stuff. Maybe they have reasons for not wanting to do that, but that would be the second option that I think they have. However, like I said, In the absence of both of those, I tried to play Wednesday night. I really wanted to play. It was like 9 o'clock. I go to bed about 10 o'clock, and it was too early to go to bed. And I was like, I feel like playing some Tarkov. I've been playing, maybe doing a scav run or just doing an hour. I play a lot of Path of Exile, and then I kind of want to do something different. I may go watch a movie, and then I come back in here, and it's sort of close to bedtime, but not close enough that I can't get a raid in or something. So I was wanting to play. I was really wanting to sit down and play, and I couldn't get in. I could not get in. I tried the whole skip the queue, back out of the queue and rejoin. Didn't work. I said, you know what? I'm tired of this. I already had SPT Mod installed, and I had checked it out very briefly. But I thought, you know what? I'm really going to dive into it and see how this plays. And I played it for a little bit, and then every night since, I've tried to join the official PvE version, gotten denied for 5 minutes, and said, you know what? I'm not even going to bother trying this queue crap anymore. I'll play it when I can. So I back out and move over to SPT. So the pros of the SPT mod, it runs locally, so there are no queue times. You don't have to deal with anything. You want to go load in, you load right in. It is fully customizable as long as there's a mod that exists to do what you're looking for. And another cool thing that I didn't realize is that you can create multiple user profiles. So like if I wanted to test an upgrade, there's an upgraded, 1 or 2 upgraded versions of it, and I need to try out the upgrade process. I haven't done that yet. I think I'm on 3.8.0 or something like that. Whatever the .0 version is, there's a .1, and I think I saw today they've got a .2. But I've not tried upgrading yet, but I did notice that I could run multiple profiles. So I could throw like a test profile out. If I wanted to try different mods out, I could throw some mods in, try it with this alternate profile, and if I don't like it, I could take the mods out, and then when I play the game with my regular profile, I should say, then I would have the mods that are going to be in that profile. So I could vet some things out with it. However, there are actually a lot of cons to doing this. And the thing that makes it a pro, where you can run this locally, also makes it a con, because now you have to have a decent PC. I don't know how much of a potato PC you can have to run this. I don't know my CPU. I did not go super high end. I think I went like mid-grade. I think on my other PC, my older PC, I went a little bit less on the CPU. On this one, I think I was about midline, and it's got a 3070 video card in it. So it's not that great of a PC, but I've not had any issues on Ground Zero. I haven't ran any other maps with the SPT mod. I've been focused on learning Ground Zero and playing it, doing and the starting quests are all there, so I've been focused on that. So I haven't ran anything else, but with the Sane mod, and we've got waypoints and what is it, swag and donuts or something like that, whatever that one's called. I've got those mods running. I've added a couple of other ones. I don't remember what they're called off the top of my head, but there's a mod that shows you what things, that color codes items to show you whether they're worth something or not. You know, there's an item that shows you whether it's used in quests, or there's a mod that shows you whether an item's used in quests or not. I threw that on there. What I completely avoid is anything like the radar mod, anything that shows you where the enemy is, anything that makes the game easier, anything that is cheat-like. I don't want any of that stuff. So pretty much all I have is either mods that run AI or things that are straight up quality of life, maybe help me learn the game a little bit. I don't want quest markers. I don't want, I don't know. The same stuff I have is just set up on the default. I haven't taken the difficulty up or down. It's just whatever it installed as. So basically, it seems to replicate the way PvE plays. And from what I can tell, both PvE and SPT are kind of about the same. I don't really notice much difference between them as far as performance, as far as the AI, as far as where the AI is, where the AI is not. I mean, it's kind of about the same for both. But continuing on with the cons. So one of the biggest cons that you will have with any modding in any game ever is if the modder stops, your mods don't work anymore. Now, in older games, like I do a lot of modding with the original Doom, Doom 2, stuff like that. There's some really cool gore mods. There's some over-the-top mods that add tons of guns and monsters and stuff like that. Those are great. But that's also a many-decade-old game that is not seeing any development. When you take a game like Tarkov that's in beta and it's not released yet, and it doesn't even have officially supported mods, or it doesn't have official mod support in the game. You've got people just developing this entire framework that does modding for it. You're kind of taking some chances with, I know we run wipes and we get used to the wiping process and all that kind of stuff, but here's the thing. If these modders quit working on this, if they graduate from school, whatever, if they're in school, if they have a change in their job, whatever life change happens to that person that develops that particular mod, if things change for them, that mod is never getting any further development. If the game keeps getting developed, or let's say BSG goes after these SPT modders at some point, they certainly could. If they go after them and get this shut down, you'll never be able to play it again. You'll be stuck at whatever level the SPT got developed to. So in my mind, that's a massive negative. And I mean, it doesn't affect anything as long as things are working, but like this dismemberment mod, I'm really interested in finding it. And I did find where you can get it a few places. I'm not worried about actually getting it. I'm kind of leery about getting certain things from certain places, and I don't want to just go grab some random Dropbox thing that's giving me some virus or whatever. So I'm kind of leery about some of that in the first place. But if the modders, in the case of like this gore mod, this dismemberment mod or whatever, I don't know if that person's around developing it. I don't know what happened. I don't know the story behind it. I just know that the mod, and from what I can read, is hard to find. And if you can find it, it may or may not come from a shady source. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I can't go to a good modding site and just get this stuff. So losing support from a specific mod, especially like if the guy that, or whoever's developing Sane, if they quit doing their thing, now you've got a key component that uses others that, or say a component that Sane uses, like the waypoint mod. If somebody quits developing that waypoint mod and nobody gets the code for it, now somebody either has to do that from scratch, which Sane relies on the waypoint mod, if memory serves, to make that work. So you've got, it's cool that all these different mods can build on each other, but that's also building on kind of a house of cards in some way. So I just want to throw that out there that, mod support is great, but it's not always the best, especially like this modding support here. It's not really through an official channel like Steam Workshop support where, all these things have good or bad. So if the person on Steam developing workshop mods quits, it's still done and done. Nobody else is going to get their code and be able to advance it. But the cool thing about Steam Workshop support is it automatically updates for you, which is going to bring me to the next con for the SPT mod. From what I can tell, I've not upgraded yet, so I don't know exactly, but it looks like you have to reinstall, so you've got a 40 gig install of, I think I'm on 380. If I want to do 381 and then 382, it looks like I have to install 382 or 381 from scratch, let it copy over all the Tarkov files, and then I have to copy my profile in and then make sure all the mods work. If at the very least, even if it's just a in-place upgrade, even at that point, I still have to make sure that all my mods work with the new version that I'm going to. If the mods don't work, which is why I was talking about having a testing account earlier, like there's so many little things that you have to deal with. Whereas if you go play the officially supported version, I don't have to worry about if it stays up to date. I don't have to worry about it being behind the version of the game BSG provides. Like there's so many things that I just don't have to worry about with the officially supported version of PvE. So let's kind of wrap all this up. In my opinion, and you've heard me say it multiple times, I would very, very much prefer to play the BSG supported version of PvE. That's what I want to play. I just want to play the vanilla game. I just want to get used to it. I want to get my thousands of hours into learning the game. And as I've been playing PvE, I've been thinking to myself, whether it's been the PvE mode BSG provided or SPT mod, I've been thinking in the back of my head, this is really setting me up to actually want to go on and play PvP someday. Now, I will probably get a lot of time into learning all the different maps. Like, I don't know Labs very well. I've played a little bit of Labs. I don't know. There's so many of the maps that I don't know. I've played on Shoreline and Interstate, Interchange, whatever it's called. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. And I always get confused between those two. I think it's Interchange. Woods I've played a little bit of, but even like I logged in now, they've got a whole big expansion on Shoreline that I don't ever remember. That's new. I'm learning Ground Zero. I've really never played on Streets. So there's a ton of learning to do, and I'm learning a lot about Ground Zero, but I still have to learn all these other maps and the extraction points and where to get loot and stuff like that. I've got to learn all these quests and everything. Like there's a lot of time and effort that I can put into it. So I've been trying to play the official BSG PvE mode as much as possible. But like I said, Wednesday came around and I was like, dude, I just want to play and I can't play. So in my mind, I bought the Unheard Edition. You can laugh all you want. I don't care. I wanted to play PvE. So I gave them the extra money. I'm paying for the server space and I'm getting these horrendously long queue times. So in my mind, I'm getting pushed over into SPT Mod because there is a version that I can play that just bypasses all of that. Now, I'm not paying money for this thing. It's people doing this work in their free time. I didn't pay for SPT Mod. I'm just enjoying the fruits of someone else's labor. But it's allowing me to play the game in a way that I've wanted for years. I gave up playing Tarkov back in 2022, I guess it was, and I haven't played since. It's been off my mind until I played Incursion Red River a couple of weeks ago, or a few weeks ago now, and I saw that. I'm like, man, I really want to be playing Tarkov. I kind of wrote it off. When I built this PC a while back, I don't know, year and a half ago, something like that. When I built this PC, I didn't even reinstall Tarkov on it. I had quit playing, and when I built this, I said, you know what? I'm just not even interested in having that on my hard drive because I'm just not planning on playing it anytime soon. So fast forward 2 years, I find Incursion Red River. I'm like, man, I really want to go play some Tarkov. And not very long after finding Incursion Red River, all of a sudden I have Gray Zone, Arena Breakout, we've got PvE mode, we've got SPT mod. Like I'm running, I have way more options than I have time. Now, when I look at other games like Gray Zone and I think it's Gray Zone, that and the Arena Breakout, whatever. They're so far behind, and they seem to be more PvP focused. They don't have the atmosphere. They don't have the skills. They just don't look like they have the stuff that Escape from Tarkov does. And I would much rather play Escape from Tarkov because I've already paid the money for this. I don't have to go buy another game. I don't have to worry about what some free-to-play game is going to do with their monetization and all that other stuff. I don't have to deal with some buggy game that has questionable whether it's even going to run on my computer. I know Escape from Tarkov runs, and even with this mod, as far as I can tell, I haven't really gone crazy with the mod support and everything, and as far as I can tell, it's held up very well. My PC doesn't seem to chug. I don't hear a jet engine running down here. It's been great. And where I'm at now with both the PvE mode in the actual game and the SPT mod, they're both kind of, I think I'm both level 5 or 6, something like that. I'm starting to get quests done on both sides. As I learn where the quests are, it's like doing a double wipe, basically. So I'm kind of thinking about how I want to go forward with this, and I was kind of thinking I might actually wipe when a major wipe happens. I'll wipe on the PvE side. I think we can wipe on the BSG supported version. I don't know how, but I think we can. I definitely know how to do it on the SPT mod. You just say delete your character and you create a new one. So I'm thinking about doing that. When the actual wipe hits, I'll just wipe like everybody else, and then I'll start from scratch and get that feeling of starting over and having to go from the beginning. I'm enjoying this. And the coolest part is regardless of how I'm playing PvE, whichever mode that I'm in, I'm learning the game. I'm having fun. I'm able to go at my own pace. I can go hide off in a corner somewhere, pull up a map. I don't have to worry about somebody rolling up on me and killing me. It's just been so much nicer to enjoy this and to be back playing the game in any capacity without having to deal with all the PvP and without having to deal with Chads rolling up and third partying me or whatever. I just don't have to deal with any of that. So at the end of the day, do I have a recommendation of whether you should go PvE or the SPT mod? And I would say that is going to depend on your choice. I know that's kind of a non-answer. You've heard me say that I prefer the actual BSG supported version, and I've given you my pros and cons for that. I'm also playing the SPT mod, and I've given you my pros and cons for that. So I know that's kind of a down the middle answer, but I see a lot of people on Reddit or whatever really hyping up how great the SPT mod is. It is a great mod for sure, but it's also not supported by the developer. And if you want to play that version and not have to worry about upgrades and breaking mods and stuff like that, and mods going away because if you don't have to deal with all that's all great while SPT works, but the second it doesn't, you have no way to go get support for it. Whereas you've got a company that is there developing a product that you can go to their support board, or they're going to release a patch or something like that. It's a little bit more manual on the SPT side. So either way, I personally have had a blast playing on both, and I don't really have a plus or a minus to either one. The queue times on the officially supported one are definitely driving me over to SPT mod, but it's not because I want to be there. It's because I can't play the game any other way. I have to go sit in this ridiculously long queue, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to waste my entire night, 30 minutes of my night, so that I get 10 minutes in a raid and then have to quit. Oh, and they're running shortened raids on the official version because they don't have enough server capacity. So it's, again, driving me over to SPT mod, not because I want to, but because I feel like I have to. Anyway, that will do it for this video. Hopefully it's been helpful. Hopefully you've got something out of it, but that will do it for this one. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.